It's a special City Source look back at the best of 2020. Of course, the continuing big story is COVID-19, and we have some of the ways people responded.
What we're doing today is the very, very least we can do to show our support for them.
There are a lot more incredible images from the year. We are with first responders, showing some of the ways they work with the community and prepare for emergency response.
You're looking and feeling and hearing for anything.
Plus, the big projects underway.
Isn't that amazing?
And we are not forgetting about fun. Relive some of your favorite moments. So you want everyone in Irving to learn how to dance hip-hop?
Absolutely.
This is City Source, the best of 2020. Happy New Year and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. As we look back at 2020, we of course start with COVID-19. While Irving and the rest of the world continue to deal with the deadly impact of the virus, we are also reminded of how people came together. For example, we covered numerous food distribution events and showed how city departments adapted programs to serve residents. People across Irving also shared a common message of gratitude to healthcare workers, and here's one way they showed it. It's a healthy dose of thanks, double strength.
We really do present you with a heart-filled respect that you deserve.
Groups are at Irving's two major hospitals to mark National Nurses Week and National Hospital Week.
Thank you very much for your dedication.
First stop, Baylor Scott and White, where some healthcare professionals joined the celebration. It featured the flashing lights of emergency vehicles at early morning shift change.
This is our way as a city to say thank you very much for the great work that the frontline workers here at the hospital are doing.
We are really thankful for our healthcare heroes in our local community who are really giving everything to keep our community safe.
Let's hear it for fire and police.
It's clear there is a mutual respect between Irving's first responders and these healthcare workers.
We're really proud to be a big part of this community.
This is a tough period of time in our lives.
There's a real heart here. There's a real intentional focus on how we work together and how we get through things together.
On this day, there's more to come. And we're doing it all again.
Yeah, we're going to do it again at noon at the other hospitals.
It's Medical City, Las Colinas.
Thomas, it's just amazing. We have just seen such an outpouring of support for our hospital and our healthcare heroes.
The city's first responders sounded their sirens in salute. And one firefighter took his sign skyward, climbing to the top of the ladder. And on the ground, the message is the same.
The energy, the love that we're given, that's all we want them to feel, the gratitude towards them.
Just how much we appreciate them and what we know they're going through right now. What we're doing today is the very, very least we can do to show our support for them.
Thank you for what you do. You're the unsung heroes of our community.
Beyond all of the kind words expressed on the mic and through signs, these healthcare professionals will also receive gift bags. Teams from the City of Irving, the Las Colinas Association, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau filled 1,500 of them.
Janitor bags, I know, and we're all here on site working together.
It's important in the City of Irving that we give back, and right now, during this pandemic, we're thrilled to really make a difference for our frontline workers.
Corporate sponsors also provided catered lunches. While all of the gifts are appreciated, the executives at both hospitals say there's an even bigger reward as their teams care for COVID patients.
We can return people to their families, and that is a beautiful thing. We play a song every day, it's the fight song, when we discharge somebody, because we want the whole house to know that we made it and that person got to go home.
The most important thing, that's the reason most of us are in healthcare, is to take care of other people, and so it really is a calling. And the pride and just watching someone walk out after they've been with us. In unprecedented times, people really band together and show their true worth.
Bright moments amid tough times on both campuses that put a bigger focus on healthcare workers during National Hospital Week and National Nurses Week.
Thank you to the community. We are very proud to be part of this community.
We are proud to live and work in Irving.
The desire of everyone to show support also led to a flyover by the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. Check out the site from Maine.
The Blue Angels are coming out and they're making sure that people understand that we need to show support to our first responders.
That's them. They're doing the circle around downtown right now. They're doing a circle around downtown. They'll be here soon.
Something new and exciting for people to see and remind us that this country is great, our opportunities are great, and our best days are still ahead of us.
The pandemic prompted Irving firefighters to scale back training. But before that happened, we got a chance to see them in action at the new Irving Grand Prairie Joint Fire Training Facility. Some local students were there as well. Inside, outside, and all around the Irving Grand Prairie Joint Fire Training Facility, these Irving firefighters are making sure they are ready to save life and property. But before all of this,
that's why we brought the A-team out here, right?
Firefighters start the day with some lessons and reminders about safety.
We're incorporating the Bluetooth stuff into live fire to get everybody familiar with the new voice amps, how to link them, how to pair them.
Soon, the simulated call comes in.
This is a drill. This is a drill. This is a drill.
And they're on the move.
Respond to reported structure fire. 4850 North Beltline Road. Engine 3, Engine 9, Truck A, Engine 12, Medic 4, 521. Respond to reported structure fire. 4850 North Beltline Road. Respond on Training A, cross streets, a corner, and press no lane.
We love our job and we understand the gravity of what we may be called to do, so we want to come out here and practice it in as realistic a conditions as we can.
Every action is a decision. Where to stage the vehicles, how to enter the building, and so much more. Every exercise is different and will always offer some surprises.
That's the best way to do it because we don't have a pregame whenever we go out onto a real scene. We don't know.
Command to dispatch, go ahead and start a second alarm.
One thing is pretty constant. You get an idea from our cameras inside and even firefighters' infrared cameras that sense heat.
It is pitch black, and I think that's the misconception most people have. You really can't see anything.
And you're looking and feeling and hearing for anything. Anything and everything. Sometimes you have to get really down low and you have to feel with your hands. Even with all the lighting that you have on your persons, it's still difficult.
And as you get closer to the seat of the fire, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And sometimes it's getting really hot and you still have not found where you need to be yet. And that is a little bit intimidating.
As they approach the fire, their priorities change in a split second.
When we found a victim, so our first thing was, let's get the victim out.
They didn't just bring the victim out and the scenario's over. They had to work the victim, they had to transport the victim.
And then we went back inside and attacked the fire.
This day's exercise has an audience closely watching from the combat tower.
I always wanted to be a firefighter.
They are students studying firefighting at the Irving Independent School District's Singley Academy.
The thing that attracts me is like the saving lives.
And you can see they are getting to do more than observe. Between scenarios, the students are helping out.
We have 4 kids that are going into the military that want to specialize in firefighting in the military. We have 2 kids that are going off to smaller departments. Then they want to work their way back up to come to Irving.
The school and fire department plan to build on the partnership at this fire training facility.
We're one of the few schools that actually can get the kids certified to actually be able to go out and get a job after they graduate high school.
I feel great and thankful that I have this opportunity to see professional firefighters and how they work.
This training facility opened in 2017 and is already offering new challenges. This is a brand new structure to the fire training grounds. Tell me what kind of experience they're getting here.
They're getting experience in what would normally happen at an actual residential fire. Okay, where we'd climb on top of the roof and we would cut a hole to allow the smoke and heat to escape.
Back at the main structure, firefighters are responding to another simulated call. At first glance, it looks similar to the earlier exercise, but watch this one play out.
What we want them to do is do a full walk around the building to get an idea of what they're going into.
The firefighters enter through the front in search of the fire.
Truck 8, victim. Second floor, Charlie side window.
We staged the victim on the backside to see if the first in crew caught it. They didn't catch it, so they ended up having to go through the whole building to get to the victim.
So it took them extra time to find that victim and get him help. It will be one of the lessons they go over in these debriefing sessions.
If you are first on scene, try and get that 360-degree survey. Get that four-side view of the building as much as possible to try and know what's going on the backside. We stopped Truck 8 short. They were going around to the Charlie side. We stopped them short because we didn't want them to game the system here. Because on an actual house, you're not going to be able to drive around through the backyard, most likely.
If you're going to miss something, it's better to miss it now. That's what
yes, and that's the purpose of it, so that we can emphasize, because a lot of times most people learn from their mistakes.
And all units stand by. We have a Mayday rig for either the Alpha side. We have a firefighter on engine 3 down.
Pull his gloves off and pull his sleeves off backwards.
Continually doing this ensures that we do our job to the best of our ability and that we don't get hurt, or worse.
Commander Rick.
The day provides a range of lessons for Irving firefighters and those who might be among the next generation, ready to protect people and property in Irving.
We're prepared to come for you if there's a fire. That's what we train for, that's what we live for, that's why we're here.
Command received, command dispatch, primary search, all clear on the first and second floor.
In the second half of our show, see the Firefighter Combat Challenge World Championship held in Irving for the first time. Meanwhile, the Irving Police Department is getting a lot of attention for its outreach programs. One called Shop Talk has been around for a while, so important relationships were already in place when questions about policing dominated the national dialogue. Through 4 years of dancing, dominoes, and dialogue,
they get conversations.
Irving police are building upon relationships with the African American community inside barbershops.
Barbershop is always a place where you can just be real and be yourself.
The program is called Shop Talk. Why is the barbershop the perfect place to have these conversations?
Barbershops have always been somewhat of a hangout, especially in the African American community.
I think, didn't he go to the Super Bowl?
While sports are always a dominant topic, today the conversation is a lot more serious.
Yeah, today is a little bit more serious.
We visited 5-Star Cuts in Valley Ranch in the days after the murder of George Floyd and other cases put law enforcement across the country under scrutiny.
So, why is it that so many people still get shot by the police? They're unarmed.
To me, honestly, depend on the situation. Because some of the situations that I see, it ain't warranted for deadly force.
The fact that you have to activate your camera in each scenario or different scenarios, that could pose a potential risk right there.
Here at 5-Star Cuts, Irving police have a voice in that conversation.
Is there protocol for that? When you see something bad happening, or like when the cop is doing something bad?
Many times I have spoke with my coworkers and made suggestions. And it's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's sit them up. Or let's do something, to that effect.
5-Star is among about 20 Irving shops and salons participating in Shop Talk.
If you try to shoot somebody's arm, there's a good chance that you're going to miss.
Officers make regular visits to answer questions. And they can ask you anything.
The barbers know that I'm going to be straight with them. That's the only way that you can build that trust.
Oh, I love Irving PD. They didn't wait till something bad to happen to say, let's have these conversations. We've always been having these conversations.
It's an open dialogue. I definitely like the way that the officers come in and they actually listen to what we have to say to them about what's going on.
Along with in-shop visits,
it's all about being able to communicate.
Barbershop and even now beauty salon owners have quarterly luncheons.
Cities and places are riding.
At the latest, Chief Jeff Spivey addressed current events head on.
On that Memorial Day Monday, when Mr. Floyd was killed by that police officer, the nature of our profession changed. This is the most challenging time in policing I have ever seen.
Here, the Irving Police Department has nothing but support.
I really thank all of you guys because it really means a lot to me.
In 2016, when Officer Plunkett first approached me with this idea and we launched it that weekend in September at Mitchell's, not really knowing what it was going to turn into, just knowing that we needed to do something more than we were doing as an organization, and to have watched it grow to now.
Building on that energy of you tell one person and they tell one person, and that message gets delivered to an entire community.
This is a great feeling to see that this program is going strong. especially with everything that's going on, across the country.
When Officer Williams came to my place of business, he had to answer some of those tough questions.
I think having open lines of communication is important. I think, I can say for me personally as an officer, it energizes me and refreshes me.
But when he came, he actually brought a slab of ribs that he had smoked.
And I can go in there and, we're friends and we just talk and it kind of re-energizes me to get back out there.
As we have heard over the years, the meetings can be awkward when police first arrive.
Oh, who got caught up today?
Initially, I was like, what's going on?
I was nervous. I'll be real.
Normally, the ice gets broken pretty quick.
It's kind of like your buddy pulling up now.
In Irving, I'm cool because I know Irving PD as a whole. I know Chief Fire don't play.
They often find that they have more in common than they first realized.
You want to feel safe, they want to feel safe.
Shop Talk's progress gained the attention of the U.S. Justice Department, which honored Officer Plunkett in Washington.
Community-oriented policing works.
Now, Officer Plunkett wants to help spread this program across the country.
We're not going in on the tail end trying to fix a problem. We're talking about the problems beforehand and just building that relationship.
It is a bonus of knowledge, understanding, and stronger relationships that comes with a cut here at 5 Star and other Irving barbershops. Continuing with public safety news, an Irving family is thankful for first responders after a furniture accident critically injured a little girl. We have her welcome home celebration, but first, reporter Susan Stevens shares some incredible footage captured on police body cam.
Take it to the hospital! We have to go! She's not breathing, dude! Please! Sorry!
March 16th, Andrea Medellin experienced a parent's worst nightmare when her 4-year-old daughter, Sari, was unconscious and not breathing.
They were playing around and all we heard was a bang.
The dresser and television in Sari's room fell over and crushed her when she was climbing up the front of the dresser to change the TV channel.
Okay, they're here. Keep going.
It was a pain that no mother should go through.
Go ahead.
Please save her!
The family responded appropriately. They called 911. They brought her out to meet the first responders that got there.
Yeah, it was frantic. It was really it was hectic. There was people yelling, screaming everywhere.
Find out where they're going, please.
We pulled up. We didn't really know what was going on until we realized she was over here holding the baby in the middle of the road. We knew something serious was going on then.
I can tell you, my heart sunk all over again when I saw her because it didn't look good.
Do you have any idea what happened? Did she drink something, eat something?
Right away, she handed Sari to Officer Vanderveer, and we put her on the hood of a car, and I started chest compressions on her until IFD arrived because she wasn't breathing. She had blood coming from her nose.
The police officers and the Irving Fire Department were able to resuscitate Sari and rushed her to the hospital.
They took care of her like she was their own.
She has been in recovery for 3.5 months. And after finally getting released from the hospital, the Irving Police Department and Irving Fire Department are welcoming her home with a parade.
To honor her resilience and being able to fight through her medical health issues, to also honor the Irving and Fire officers that got out here quickly, prolonged her life to be able to get her to a medical facility so that the professionals, the nurses and doctors could do their job in helping get her back on a road to recovery.
I saved your life, baby. It's also a chance for Sari's family to show their gratitude.
I want to thank y'all because if it wasn't for y'all, she wouldn't be here.
And I know how fast you guys were driving because I heard your tires screech as soon as you stopped and you saw me waving y'all down. But if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have my baby right now. And I want to thank you guys for everything y'all do and for saving her life and allowing her to be with us. Since she's been in the hospital, I never left her side. I was with her most of the time. I only came home for Mother's Day to see the children and stuff. And getting to meet them, it was beautiful.
And it's just as meaningful for the officers to get to see Sari awake and smiling.
Kind of makes you want to cry a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Made me extremely excited to see her back home.
According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, furniture instability injuries and deaths remain a problem.
There are furniture straps available, so you can actually strap that furniture to the wall. There's TV straps available. You know, you can mount that on the wall instead of having it on something, so that things won't fall on children and they won't be tempted as much to climb up there, you know, and pull on it.
It's an important tip to help keep your children safe. Andrea and her family are taking all the necessary precautions to help further Sari's progress.
Can you say thank you, Daddy?
She's got some high spirits, you see some smiles, you see that she's wanting to give some hugs out, and she's communicating.
It's a miracle that even doctors doubted. But now, Sari is home with her family and on the road to recovery.
In the midst of all the ugly things that are going on in the world, pay attention to the sweet things like this, the nice things, the positive things like this. You know, and there's not just all evilness in this world.
Susan Stevens for City Source.
And the heroic reason why police held a mini parade for another child is coming up in the second half of our program. Stay tuned. For now, let's lighten the mood a lot. A bigger crowd than anyone expected turned out for Eerie Irving Park, an event to celebrate Halloween but still keep safety top of mind. This is Eerie Irving Park.
This is great. Yeah, I like it.
The city remade Trinity View Park for one night, and a lot of scary characters lined the paths to greet the guests.
We will bring a night of horror.
To keep it safe from the creatures and COVID, people stayed in their cars for this strictly drive-through event.
Do you have a bucket, young man?
Those who wanted a less intense experience could come in the afternoon to see a headless horseman,
Play horseman,
dancing scarecrows, and so much more. But even this hour is too late for some. Right as this child arrived at the park,
he's falling asleep.
And he is probably a little young for one of this haunt's highlights, the zombie apocalypse.
Oh my God, that is cool.
It gets a lot more spooky after dark.
It's been really fun. The kids are really enjoying it. Not so much the little clowns, but everything else they like so far.
I'm out here to the picture.
I'm blown away. We really wanted to do something special for the residents. We know people have been itching to get out to do something, and Halloween was going to be a different celebration this year, so we wanted to do something for the kids, and wow, have they responded.
The city is really trying to do everything we can to provide those quality of life products and entertainment for our residents. And we want to make sure that we raise that bar and we set that expectations for them, that they know that in Irving we're going to provide events for them that are worth coming out to and on their top quality.
You can see city leaders.
So I am Henry VIII.
Have different titles on this night.
I am the Wizard of Oz. This is the city manager's office. We've set up Oz in the Yellow Brick Road.
Of course, I'm the Tin Man. It's cool just to see all the families come through and pass out the candy, and I get to do my Tin Man wave.
They're ahead of the game.
In fact, a lot of city employees are along the route committed to their characters.
Heads or tails?
I'm Winifred Sanderson.
I'm Mary Sanderson.
Sarah Sanderson. We're from Hocus Pocus, a Disney movie.
Happy Halloween from Hogwarts. Have you been sorted yet?
I'll sit still like I'm a puppet, and then I'll jump out and scare them.
Doing this little
I am too much.
This is our pirate setup, so we're happy to meet all the residents come through.
We're having pens and little toys too, and they're excited about that.
A lot of the kids are having fun. You can see a lot of smiles on their face, really enjoying the night.
Oh, we're having a blast. And it's just great to see everybody smiling and laughing and dressed up.
There's so much going on out here, and it's just, there's car after car after car.
Would you like some treats?
Yes, please.
All right, I have plenty of treats for all of you.
Wow, this is so spooky.
Plenty of people were ready for these thrills. The Parks Department estimates about 8,000 people came through Eerie Irving Park. The crowds did lead to traffic backups.
The wait was kind of long, but it was worth the wait.
Other than the traffic, it was awesome.
And some families told us this Halloween could have been a total bummer, with everyone focusing on staying healthy and avoiding crowds.
We weren't going to go out anywhere, so this kind of helped benefit, the kids and things like that.
This has just been a trying year for everybody. And, this is a special time of the year for the kids. They get to go out, they get to trick-or-treat and have candy. And that was taken away from them. So we wanted to be able to give them back something.
Get a little bit of a scare, get some candy, and you can really see the kids are having a great time and the parents are having a great time.
We are having so much fun. Thank you so much.
Plenty of laughs, plenty of screams, as Irving becomes eerie for the night. Unfortunately, the pandemic did prompt the cancellation of a lot of events, including free hip-hop dance classes for everyone. We attended a couple of the sessions to put this story together, which I think is my personal favorite of the year.
If there was no wall, what would have happened to her?
Newton's laws of motion are the focus of this 6th grade science class at Crockett Middle School.
Explain what is going on.
The interactive lessons about motion do not stop here. When the school day ends, this science teacher trades beakers for a beat and joins the Nimitz High School dance director and their dance teams for this.
We're going to have a really, really good time.
Tonight, you're going to get a chance to see our free dance class that we've started.
Thank you all for being here so much.
The Tuesday night classes are open to everyone.
We think it's important that everyone in the community has access to dance.
The style? Hip-hop.
You bounce up, 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 up.
So you want everyone in Irving to learn how to dance hip-hop?
Absolutely. That's the goal.
A lot of other dance styles have different techniques that you're required to use as you dance, and hip-hop tends to be one that almost anything is acceptable. The same way that we want our students or anybody that participates in the dance class to feel that they are acceptable.
When you're doing your turn, you're thinking up, up, up.
The classes start with a simple move and build from there.
You're going to jump as you punch down and kind of bounce on this right foot. It looks like this. Boom. Land.
That's because there is a range of age and experience in the class. The nights we were there, we saw mostly students representing just about every grade level, a few adults, along with school staff,
changing the stereotype of librarian.
Exactly.
and more. You're a professional dancer.
Yes. I'm currently dancing with Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue. It's the first co-ed hip-hop team in the NFL.
Michael Berg also dances on that team. He and Christiana Hogan
Step, drop, step, drop.
alternate weeks leading this class.
Wow. That was really good.
And it always begins with some rules.
Rule 1, you have to try if you're here.
Make sure that you are remaining positive the whole time.
We support our fellow dancers.
We are all about hyping each other up and keeping everybody encouraged.
You always gotta be positive, help each other. You might not know the people around you, but they're here to dance.
We're all different, so it's like some people get adjusted to new environments at different times or being like open with their body like that at different times.
Today is about you and how you can grow, okay? That is what this class is for. Past that, it's about feeling yourself.
If they're dancing, like, don't judge them, because that's the way they dance. It's like be respectful to everybody and just let them be themselves.
If that kind of stuff happens, that's what we gotta support. We do not need any more reason to hide it when we feel that way.
Crazy, 5, 6, make a back, hit.
The teachers notice that their dance students achieve more than some new moves.
I was really shy and did not talk really much, and I was not a big person who made many friends. But once I did dance club, I just found myself.
Everything changed drastically whenever I got out and just stopped being shy. And sometimes like I just sit in bed and like look behind me and remember those days whenever I was shy. And I wish I could go back and like tell to myself, go ahead. If you mess up, then you mess up. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's just a way to express myself, you know, like there's not really an explanation of to why I like it other than I get to be myself.
It's a confidence boost that I haven't been able to replicate in any other scenario.
Over a hill, over a hill.
Some of these students believe this experience could lead them to a career.
I'd really like to be a professional dancer. I'd like to be on a hip-hop crew, and then maybe once I'm older,
teach.
I've been thinking about becoming a professional dancer.
I want to major in dance and minor in psychology.
That's an unusual combination.
Yes. Dance has always been what I go to when I can't go to someone, so it's like the perfect combination for me.
Others want to continue dancing as a hobby while pursuing more traditional careers. Another choice?
A professional football player. I want to be in the NFL.
And I bet you're going to have the best in-zone dances of anybody.
Yeah.
Go full out for your last rep in every class you ever take.
Within about 45 minutes, the students are ready to break into groups and perform what they just learned.
Hey! I feel good, and I was proud of myself, and everyone was just so excited and so motivating. It was awesome.
Now they want to see more people from across the city get involved. There are people who might be seeing this who have no rhythm, no coordination. Should they still come?
Absolutely. Those are the people we like to pull in, because if you have no rhythm, come to class and we'll teach you where to find it.
Here we go! Remember, the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to have fun and try.
I mean, just from participating, you just get a joy just seeing young kids do what they love and not have doubts or just second guess themselves. So it's pretty cool to just witness that.
Not many students can say they're learning from their science teacher, like how to dance.
And as long as the music plays, they'll freestyle.
I really like at the end how we hype each other up and how it just feels like we're a community and we come together.
Finally, it's time for some photos and a reminder of Crockett's Dance Club motto, Dance to Express. Thomas Gandy for City Source. Let's head to the Animal Care Campus now. In Irving, more than 250 pets found homes during the annual event known as Clear the Shelters. The pandemic brought uncertainty, but the teams there went forward and check out their results. 5-year-old Zachariah Perez is ready for a new friend.
I want to take him out. With the COVID and everything, we're now going to be homeschooling, and he's a little bored at home. I think a dog having a playmate will be good for him. He's cute, Mama. He's cute. Yeah.
But will Dean end up being the right match? Stick around to find out. They are just some of the people turning out for Clear the Shelters at the Irving Animal Care Campus. And like most events, this one is different because of the pandemic.
I'm so happy that we decided to do this even in light of the pandemic, because these animals still need people to come and adopt them.
We weren't really sure what to expect.
We are used to seeing big crowds for Clear the Shelters, the campaign that started here in Irving and grew nationally through a partnership with NBC. This year, to keep it safer, people wanting to take advantage of the waived adoption fees first check out pictures of pets posted outside and online.
Come into the parking lot, give us a call, and
then they call to get on the list for a meeting.
Hi, yes, this is Sophie calling from Irving Animal Shelter.
The phone's been ringing off the hook with people wanting to come and meet pets.
I am ready to help you at the front door.
We have a cat meet and breed waiting.
You said the dog that you're wanting to see is Mickey?
We actually have 2 cat meet and breed waiting.
You love her.
Yeah, I love her.
You love her. That's what matters. All
As
right.
Fee-Free Week began, Warren Umanos was the first one to adopt.
So I've been doing my research online, and I had an idea of which dogs I would like, and she was everything that the website said she was. Loving, sweet, and all that.
The staff snaps pictures of every adoption, no matter how tough they are to catch.
Wait, he's a little overexcited. He's excited to go home.
They share the photos on social media because part of Clear the Shelters is also raising visibility.
It's also a huge week of awareness for animal shelters. You know, people that travel can still foster an animal for a couple of weeks. We still get lots of donations from people.
Watching it grow through the years, it just becomes, it's such an exciting time of the year for us.
Who are you coming in to see?
One dog proved especially popular.
You said Booby? Were you here to meet Booby?
After all that interest, Booby is going home with Cherry Edwards.
I lost my Chihuahua in 19, so I had to get me another baby. He's beautiful. I love him. He just laid on me. I said, well, he must love me.
How much would she be?
Free.
Free?
Because it Clear the Shelter.
This week of waived adoption fees capped off the month-long Clear the Shelters campaign. It came at a time that many shelters are already seeing some increases in adoption because of the pandemic.
They have been saying, that it's a great time for them to be able to spend time with the pet and make sure they get acclimated and interact with them and train them.
It's a combination of people being at home and being a little bit lonely, and it's a good time to add a furry friend and having that companionship, and a little boost from NBC and Clear the Shelters.
Getting back to Zachariah Perez, Dean is going home with him.
Like go home with me and Mama?
All that's left is the paperwork. Then it's a phone call to
My grandma.
What do you want to tell her?
Tell her I got a new doggy.
A new addition to their home made possible at Clear the Shelters.
We're excited, huh?
More news for animal lovers later. See why people are celebrating this dog's birthday. Thank you for staying with us on this special Best of 2020 edition of City Source. Irving hosted the Firefighter Combat Challenge World Championship for the first time. The competitors showed their strength, endurance, and determination.
All right, so we're about to get started.
It's the toughest 2 minutes in sports.
And it truly is. For 2 minutes, it's as hard as you can get.
This is the Firefighter Combat Challenge World Championship.
Basically, an obstacle course for firefighters.
There's a lot of really fit people who come out and try it and can't complete it.
For the first time, Irving is the host city.
You're going to have to burn your way up this course. You see what I did there?
Firefighters compete against the clock in 5 challenges. First is going up that 5-story stair tower in full gear, carrying a 42-pound hose pack. Then,
that donut roll they're hoisting up there is 45 pounds. You can think about over a rail. It's a lot harder than it looks. That dummy is 185 pounds.
These are 5 essential functions that firefighters do around the world. And in essence, that's what this has turned in. Firefighters tend to be a very competitive bunch of guys. Competition is great. You prepare and prepare. You get here, you're still scared.
Jared Johnson, get to the target.
Austin's Jared Johnson is among the best at this. He says it is about a lot more than strength.
When you get on that course, man, a lot of jitters come. You get anxious. There's nerves, there's a little fear, but that's what drives us.
You better move it now. Come on, you guys, get behind them.
It's a big mental push. When you're redlining your heart rate at 180 for solid 2 minutes and be able to know that I need to keep pushing, you can't just stop.
All right, so we've got Captain Wright.
What goes through your mind when you're out there running that course?
What did I get myself into, and can I make it to the finish? That is exactly how you push hard.
This event usually draws competitors from across the world.
New Zealand,
Scandinavia,
Canada, Germany,
France, UK,
and all over the world.
COVID-era travel restrictions kept a lot of teams away, but not all.
I don't know how these Kuwaitis got here.
The Kuwaiti fire.
Along with spanning the globe, these firefighters span age groups.
Looking like a couple of teenagers out here.
This Sacramento firefighter is 63 and improving.
Beating his time from 2019.
He is not alone.
I just turned 60 this year. 56 and a half. Being like one of the oldest one at my station, it helps me because I'm always running around with young guys, so I kind of like that.
Shannon Gardner looking strong.
Several female firefighters, including this one from Irving, compete.
Nothing on the course has changed or adapted for the ladies.
We also met a returning champ.
Now I'm the reigning over 40 women's world champion from last year.
Cherie Ardwin was not sure she would be here this year.
Cherie Ardwin, look at that form.
The impact of COVID-19 felt in all of the cities represented here affected her especially hard.
I started coughing up blood.
I was hospitalized 3 times, got a pulmonary embolism from it, a heart strain, and a lung infection.
Then Hurricane Laura hit her home city of Lake Charles, Louisiana. But when she was in need, the firefighters she competes with came to help her.
When they say it's a brotherhood or a sisterhood, it truly is.
So athletes, you know the drill.
Firefighters are used to dealing with crisis situations, and they say being in shape and confronting these challenges on the course help with that response.
If you can mentally push through that, there isn't anything on the fire ground that would challenge you. You don't think twice about it.
We're showing up for our communities, our families, our fire departments in our cities, and we want to prove to them that we have everything it takes to perform the rigors of the job.
Making sure we're in the top physical performance we can be, so when that bell goes off, we're ready to go. We're there.
Josh Landry from Irving Fire finishes the course in 1:59, standing up.
3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, after no sleep, they can still perform like this and execute, save lives and property at a very high level
when you need it the most. So the better I could be at this, the better my community is, because my whole team, we're striving to be the best that we can for you.
Captain Jeff White looking really strong.
Irving is hoping to attract more of these Firefighter Challenge events in the years ahead.
We want to showcase Irving all we can. We're proud of our city.
Get out and finish, that's what it's all about.
While this year's rounds of competition are over, the firefighters know their work is not.
This is a job that doesn't have a finish line.
And these firefighters prove in a tough few minutes on the course that they are ready.
And we show up to prove it to ourselves every single time.
We have more public safety news now. Police turned out to honor a young hero who made all the right decisions in a real emergency. We have the 911 call and the show of appreciation. It's a parade of police vehicles on Laramie Street in Irving, and there is a special reason behind it.
It's one of the feel-good stories of the year for sure.
A very proud day, very proud day. I'm like shocked.
It's all to honor 10-year-old Violet Gonzalez.
I was really surprised because I didn't know.
For being so brave, for showing true courage.
Irving Police and the Tarrant County 911 District are recognizing her for knowing just what to do in an emergency. She called 911.
I'm proud to honor you as a 911 kid hero.
Take a listen to the call.
Irving 911, where's your emergency? In the water park near the center, this kid fell off one of the equipment, and it's bleeding.
Okay, let me get a paramedic.
The impact knocked the boy unconscious.
He's still alive, but he's not moving at all.
From the background noise, it's clear that there was panic at the scene.
Romeo, look at me. Look at me. Romeo, look at me.
But Violet remained calm, providing info to both the Irving Police and fire departments.
Look at me, I can't talk.
We've got guys just about there.
The call lasts nearly 6 minutes, and when paramedics arrive...
The pulse was okay.
Oh, good. Violet, you did great. You're amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great job. Very proud of you.
Why are you crying? I'm just proud of you.
What she did doesn't seem like a big thing until you really understand from her standpoint, from the eyes of a 10-year-old, to know to call 911, to know to stay calm, to help that operator who's on the other line understand what the circumstances are, provide the information that we need so that we send the right emergency equipment to handle the situation.
How did she know just to kind of keep her calm and to, do everything just right?
Violet's just like that. She's chill most of the time.
Violet knew exactly what to do. She knew where the location was and things like that. Location's important. That's how we get you the help.
She's just showed a lot of maturity and just everything that, that I've taught her, that school teaches her, like she was able to put that into play.
Where did you learn about 911?
School and commercials.
Commercials?
Yes.
Now, police are hoping that this case might spark new discussions that could save lives.
So hopefully this is that catalyst that has those parents sit down with their kids and have the conversation. Here's what you need to do in a case of an emergency. You dial 911, you stay on the line with the operator, you give them your address, you give them your name, and you tell them what's going on.
Sometimes we just feel as parents that kids are not listening to us, but they obviously listen. They really do take away something from our conversation.
What do you want your friends to learn from this?
I want them to learn that they should think fast if they see someone in trouble. If you see someone in danger, call 911.
And Violet already has a career in mind.
I want to be a vet and help animals.
She's trying to bring baby ducks home and, taking care of them. So, yeah, that's really in her nature. She's really very loving.
Qualities she showed when she made that 911 call, helping a boy survive a serious playground injury.
I'm proud of her.
Also in 2020, Irving Police announced that people can now text emergencies to 911, but they say it's still best to call if you can. That's because calling is a more efficient way to convey information when seconds count. Now to another story. The pandemic prompted an unprecedented drop in demand throughout the hospitality industry. Even so, when National Travel and Tourism Week rolled around, the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau found a reason to bring color to drab times. Small swipes of chalk are coming together to make big pictures.
One of the sculptures from the Art Center by James Searles.
And those big pictures
It's actually a guitar pick.
may hold an even bigger meaning.
Right now, we are all such a family and we're such a community. It's a project of love.
People are coloring the sidewalks in front of the Irving Convention Center to mark National Travel and Tourism Week. This is kind of a time when there isn't a lot to celebrate in the hospitality industry.
No, it's a really hard time. I mean, people need help, but people also need hope.
And this one with the caterpillar turning into a butterfly, mine is be the change, lean into the change instead of running from the change.
Convention and Visitors Bureau sales manager Cheryl Hopkins is among those hearing from groups canceling events.
It's hard to know that your friends at the hotels and the sales departments have been furloughed. And it's hard for your clients.
Here, they are all working to channel cheer through chalk. This group's design showcases their hotel, the Texican Court.
We're still staying very positive, and we're looking towards the future.
Others have no ties to the industry, but just want to show support. Cindy Williams lives in Grapevine.
But I come to Irving all the time for fun.
That led to an impromptu event game that I aced.
The big boats that year, what was that called?
Fluke tug?
Fluke tug. A big shoe event here. It was my son's a sneakerhead.
Kickspo, was that the one?
Oh, I think it was Kickspo.
But while the 6-foot rule is a bigger focus than footwear right now and visitor numbers, sink, her focus?
Well, I chose hope. Look for the good. When things aren't going good, just look for the good.
To find another example of some good, look upstairs in the Irving Convention Center kitchen.
This will be our first weekend to host Staff Meal, and Staff Meal is a volunteer initiative that started up in Dallas about 3 weeks ago with some currently furloughed chefs.
We're making meals for hospitality workers in need. We're doing breakfasts and dinners for them once a week for pickup.
Nick Walker was furloughed from his position as executive chef at the new Virgin Hotel in Dallas.
Everybody's biggest priority should be doing what they can to help others in need right now.
On its first weekend in Irving, hospitality industry employees lined up to receive the meals, and they may have noticed some of those colorful messages of support out front. They are from casual artists and those with training.
Everybody else wants to wing it, but I can't handle that. 3 inches down.
These art teachers came out here with a plan to showcase the Irving Rock slogan.
To feel like we're part of something and to maybe do something encouraging in this really difficult time.
I'm making an airplane message. Kids think it's a boat. Kids are very honest.
Kinyara Zephyr is an event manager for the convention center. But with no events,
I'm currently furloughed.
That doesn't stop her from seeing the potential ahead.
I'm very passionate about my industry. I know we'll always bounce back.
When was the last time you colored with chalk on a sidewalk?
It's been probably 50 years.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau invited Irving Mayor Rick Stouffer to finish this number, 745.
Thanks to the spending our visitors do and the taxes they generate, and the taxes our places like our hotels and restaurants generate, every household in Irving has saved $745 every year.
We've been fortunate because of the hotel industry that we've been able to do the things we've been able to do. For example, this convention center, the hotel, the entertainment venue, things that we've been able to accomplish in our city because of the dollars raised by the tourism industry.
This National Tourism Week is more important than ever.
With what's happened over the last 2 months, I think everybody can see what happens when the visitors go away, when the workforce goes away.
So everyone here is eager to see visitors return with their dollars. As this project nears completion and we check out more of the creations.
Journey, who's a high schooler here at Irving High School, did this beautiful portrait of herself as a gondolier.
And the wide view shows how the elements of the visitor industry in Irving come together.
I see love and I see hope and I see people ready to be with each other again, and I see spirit.
There's just such a warmth in hospitality, and we welcome people, and that's what we do.
I feel like we're going to come back stronger. Yeah, we can't wait.
As visitors come back to Irving, there will be a new attraction, an expanded and renovated Heritage Park. This story focuses on one of the classic pieces of that park, now getting restored. The expansion of Irving's Heritage Park is pushing ahead. Along with a lot more space.
You're going to have a built-in amphitheater with an LED screen out there that's going to allow for a lot of programming and activities.
In addition to all that's modern, a favorite familiar feature is getting a major makeover. this red caboose.
In my world, we call that a large artifact.
Historic preservationist Ron Siebler is leading a team working to restore the caboose.
It's something I love to do, and I'm blessed to be able to do it both as an occupation and a profession.
The caboose represents train's role in Irving's history. In 1902, J.L. Schultz and Otis Brown decided to start a town along newly laid tracks they were surveying. That town became Irving. This caboose is a symbol of that era.
Well, I think it's always important to remember how we started. I mean, we came about in Irving, Texas because of transportation, and in those days was rail transportation. So when we talk about our heritage, we want to make sure that we include that caboose as part of the understanding of how this city started.
Tell me about the historical significance of this caboose.
It started life actually as a boxcar. Probably built sometime around 1911, 1914 for what we now know as the Burlington Northern Railroad. It is what's called a metal frame or an exterior frame boxcar.
I think that's one of the big wooden beams.
Inside the caboose, work is underway to inventory each and every part.
We'll have to catalog all the little pieces of wood, the siding and the floor, see what's left. Anything that has to be remade will be remade.
The restoration we're doing is what I refer to as a frame off. Everything comes apart. Every board you see will be taken down and reconditioned.
They're careful to photograph and measure everything because they will have to get it all back in just the right place.
Months from now, when we start putting it back together, you can't rely on your memory. There's just too many parts here.
What's been the biggest surprise that you found so far in there?
The fire. The fact that the caboose at some point had been engulfed in fire.
It became pretty evident that most of the ceiling wood up here is going to have to be replaced in this section.
That was not evident to us until we began last week pulling that paneling down, and it has revealed itself to us.
Every piece in here helps fill in details of life on this caboose nearly a century ago.
Just some of the dauber stuff that I was talking to you about. There we go. Trying to find out what goes where.
The sad part is we don't figure everything out. We often run into things, little hints of what is this, what was this for.
In search of answers, they will crawl underneath the caboose, find and analyze old photos of it, whatever it takes to learn how people lived on here.
Your train crew consisted not just of an engineer, but a fireman who stoked the fire to keep the boilers and the steam engine working. You had brakemen who would literally manually operate the brakes on the cars. You had the conductor.
All in that small caboose?
All in that small caboose. And all those people had to have some place to stay and sleep and eat when the train was in motion, and the caboose served that function.
There are also some chapters of modern history worth sharing.
Kind of interesting. I used to belong to this guy. He was one of the voices of Big Tex.
Welcome to the State Fair of Texas.
For details, we go back to the dedication ceremony for this caboose in 1993.
We then heard about a Bill Bragg who had acquired one for the Communications Museum. Bill was going to put it in his house in Richardson, took a building permit out to do this. They got the tracks laid in his backyard, and they got the first set of wheels from the car and put it in his backyard, and the city council in Richardson found out about it and was highly offended, issued a court order to stop him from doing that.
Groups teamed up to buy the caboose for $11,000.
To find an old wooden historic caboose as we have here is a really exciting find for us.
We got the tracks, the car, delivered on our premises for what we consider a price less than the cost of the car itself. So we think we made a pretty good buy for the future young people in Irving.
And that is still the goal. The restoration is expected to be complete by the time the updated Heritage Park opens next year. Once this caboose opens, what impression do you want people to take away from their visit?
Well, authenticity is the first. It will help those of you a little younger than me to understand how maybe your grandfather who worked on the railroad, what his living conditions might have been like.
The city of Irving have a nice little caboose people can come in and check out.
A project that is on track to connect the city's past with what will be the most updated park. And there is another spot that could become an icon in the city, the Signature Bridge. We witnessed one of the final phases of construction. What do you think of what you're seeing up here?
Isn't that amazing?
Irving Mayor Rick Stouffer is getting an up-close view of progress on Irving's signature bridge.
I'm really excited to see the Mustangs incorporated.
The bridge spans State Highway 114 at the former site of Texas Stadium and other land ready for redevelopment.
Really a connection that pulls the whole 400 acres together.
His visit comes right after this milestone in construction. Crews with Irving-based Weber carefully lifted the bridge's truss into place. The process took more than 10 hours.
The weight of the truss is about 330,000 pounds. So, of course, there's going to take a lot of work and engineering behind lifting something of that weight.
Do you know what the weight of the beam was?
Yes. Mayor Stouffer is always interested in transportation and infrastructure.
You love all this stuff.
Yeah, I do.
So he is learning all he can out here.
What's really exciting to me is to be out here hands-on with the guys that are in the nuts and bolts of it all, making it happen.
But what interests him even more is what could be ahead for this property.
So you see this as a big part of the city's future?
Oh yeah, this will be a key component of our growth and development and future tax base.
That is why the city moved now, seeing some opportunity. A few years back, TxDOT demolished aging bridges across 114 and was due to replace them. Along with that, the city had money in a special fund made up of taxes paid on tickets and parking fees collected when Texas Stadium was open.
We had the Brimer tax that was charged on the parking and the ticket. Those dollars could only be spent in this area.
Those extra funds that the city could not have spent elsewhere are going towards some of the enhanced design features. What would have been a more basic bridge is now meant to be iconic. We have followed this project from the earliest days of construction and through long overnight paving operations. Now, what is next in construction?
We are at the final stages of this signature bridge project.
Once it is complete, the same team working on this bridge moves to the $350 million Irving Diamond Interchange project. That should take about 4 years.
It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. We started with the rail, we started with the roads, now we got the bridge, now we're doing the intersection.
When more of the infrastructure is complete, the city hopes to see interest in creating a transit-oriented development that will include opening the bridge and adding a DART light rail station. Over the years, we have seen some general visual ideas of what development could look like.
Since we have the train and the trails and the roads that are available here, it really is going to have the ability to be a true TOD because you'll be able to live, work, and play here. So the challenge is how do we keep up with the market? How do we keep up with the changing times over the next 2-3 years? And how do we find that developer or developers that are willing to come and buy into the vision and move forward with it? So we're talking a few years down the road before we actually can make some major announcements.
Is that under contract or is that?
No, we haven't started talking about that yet.
As we tour more of the site, Mayor Stouffer gives credit to city leaders and others over the years who helped create this opportunity. This bridge is only one piece.
Everything has to start.
And he has big ideas about the impact of what will be here in the decades to come.
And I know even at 65 years of age, I'm probably not going to live to see the real value that this all brings to the city of Irving. But just to see where we started, being able to see all these components coming together, it's fascinating.
Let's again shift the focus. Animal stories are always some of the best to tell. You may remember back in 2019, the party for Ritter, the facility dog at the Family Advocacy Center, was a pretty big blowout. In 2020, the celebration was on a smaller scale because of the pandemic, but still a lot of fun for people and pups.
Happy birthday to you. We are celebrating Ritter's 4th birthday.
Party animal.
So much fun. Hi, buddy. I hope you're having fun.
We decided with the current situation, it might be a good idea to have a puppy party. So a bunch of our coworkers brought their dogs. So we had a birthday cake and treats and presents. Look, Ritter! Look, you got a jersey! Ritter is a facility dog. He works full-time here at the Irving Family Advocacy Center. We got him from an organization here in Irving called Canine Companions for Independence. They're a wonderful nonprofit that breed and train and raise dogs to work in a service capacity.
It's great to come over here. It's great to have the other dogs around for Ritter's birthday party. But we don't want to lose sight of what Ritter really stands for, and that's our ability to deliver a more complete healing process for our victims.
As soon as he comes into the room, when people want to see him, people get happy, they smile, they pet him, and it seems like they're able to relax a little bit and feel like it's not such a rigid environment. And so we can talk and have some good conversations, and he just helps the process.
I don't think anyone ever realized the power that a dog can have in breaking down some of the anxiety and stress that come along with being victimized.
Tell me how Ritter's role has changed since the pandemic.
You know, for a while when the building got closed down and all of those things, we kept him at home, and then we realized for staff morale, we really needed to bring him back into the office. So we have a lot of safety procedures in place for people to interact with him, but we've had staff that are so pleased and so happy that he's here every day.
We love him, and he's a sweetheart.
And now he's worn out.
Now he's tired, yeah.
I think it's a great opportunity just to have a little bit of fun. Ritter's such a blessing for our organization.
So we had to be here to celebrate.
A lot of great memories, and those are just some of the stories we were happy to share with you in 2020. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictid@cityofirving.org. And find us on YouTube. Our channel is at youtube.com/thecityofirving. Subscribe and you can get notifications when we upload new videos. And that's it for this special edition of City Source. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy and best wishes for a great 2021.